All right, good morning. It's 9:17 a.m. Eastern. Welcome to the Thursday free live stream with MadMaverick. And we're in the Discord, we're on socials, we're on X, we're on Facebook, we're all over the place. So welcome to the stream. Today's focus is going to be on I think SPY and Tesla, right? Because Tesla had earnings yesterday. And it didn't react the way everyone was hoping. They're hoping for, okay, we're going to start ripping back up. And the results weren't that bad. They were pretty good. They actually had some good numbers there, some good guidance, but just fell short of what some of them were expecting of Tesla, right? So we got a drop of 3% in pre-market. And we're going to go over that to see if there's any trades there that we can execute today. So we're going to plan that out. We're also going to plan out SPY because this is going to be based on the process that I put out or go by every day. If it's a great setup, then I go by the easy strategy, putting resistance, support levels, looking for that volume, flush down or rip up to then take the trade, right? So I'm going to use that today to see if we can plan any SPY trade to the downside, to the upside, and then execute that trade. So it is 9:19. We got 10 minutes before market open. I did want to just put on a few levels. I did this before we went live. We got the resistance little box up here, and we got the support little box down here. You can look at it as demand, where when we hit that level, we pick up some buyers, and then at the top where we hit that level, we get hit with some sellers, right? So there's sellers and buyers, demand and supply. So I put those boxes at the top because when we hit that box, we fall back down, and then down at the bottom support where we hit that little box, that little blue box, we pick up some buyers there, and it holds that level. So I'm just going to look for a simple execution of SPY. And it's going to be once we break above the top level. Let me just bring up my little brush. I would honestly look for a break above here. And once we get above this area, then we have some room to go towards 670 plus again, right? And then when we lose this right here and this right here, also this is also incorporated in that little box. Once we lose this area, we have some room to play it down to yesterday's lows, right? Down towards we can even put down towards the wick low if we would like, and go all the way down there as well. So that's a kind of, I'm going to go through the chats here. Sorry. What happened, Ram? He's not seeing chat either. Oh, let me share the screen. My bad. In the Discord. How's that? Does that work better for you? It was a little guess my screen kind of action there in the Discord. Like, I can talk about it. Hopefully you can execute by what I'm saying instead of showing at the actual screen. So that would be great. That would be great if you could do that. Okay, so you see my screen in the Discord now. So I'm just looking for a drop below this blue box in the bottom support. And then a break above the blue box. I'm incorporating the higher pre-market, and then I'm incorporating this area too and this area here. So I would like to just clear that whole mess right here and then go higher from there. And we can even aim for as high as, let's see what we got here. Up here, we can go to pre-market highs of yesterday and market highs of yesterday before we dropped off for SPY. So that's what I would be aiming for. If we pick up some volume, we go towards the top of these ranges. If we lose the volume and we lose this shelf right here, this little shelf area, not very strong shelf, but if we lose that, then I'd be aiming for down here, this lows of yesterday, right? This is yesterday's price action, very clean trend to the downside, and very easy to trade this with the SMA ribbon, because this ribbon right here, it was trading underneath the ribbon all day long. And that is an SMA 20 ribbon, which is a bearish sediment once we lose that ribbon, right? That line. So we're under the SMA 20 and under the SMA 20 low. And that is a bearish sediment all day long until we picked up some pace here and got above it into the end of the day, then that was more of a reversal push into the end of the day, which you could have traded if you'd like. But the whole day pretty much was a drop off yesterday, right? Today we see if we can get a clean move like that. That's what I would love to trade, something like this, a clean trend instead of chop, 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 chop like this, you know? So I would like to just see in a clean trend all the way up like this, or a clean trend all the way down to play into that momentum for the day. So if we look at the actual option chain, let me bring up on my top of the screen, I have Webull up here. Hopefully it doesn't lag today. I normally go a day out, so I'm going to go to October 24th, right? That's tomorrow. And I'm going to write here what I'm going to get. Let me get rid of all these lines so that's not all in my way. To the upside, once we clear 669.15, I'm going to look to play 670, or if you want to look cheaper, 671 calls for October 24th. Once we clear this box right here, right? 2 3-minute candle above that area. I'm going to go down to the 3-minute. So we see the chart in the 3-minute. Once we get across there on the 3-minute candlestick and close above, then I look to take that trade. If we lose this area to the downside, I would play 666.75. Play 666, or if you don't want that number, 665 per. One of those. If you want cheaper, go for the 665, and that will be October 24th. And when you get into this trade, the whole thing about planning this out is just that you don't panic once it plays out and once you're in the trade. So we already planned out what we're going to look to take to the downside, what we're going to look to take to the upside, and then where's our stop loss going to be? Well, you can go by percentages, which is like, okay, well, I'm going to aim for 20% profit. So if you're doing 1 for 1, you should not have no more than 20% stop loss in your plan, because that would not be a good risk to reward ratio, right? If you're aiming for 20 and you're risking 40% stop, doesn't make sense. That's not a great trade and not a great plan, to be honest. So if you're going to aim for 20% return, maybe 15% stop, 10% stop, max 20%, 1 for 1 makes sense for a day trade. Same thing with upside as well, right? If you want to aim for 40%, don't risk no more than 40% to the downside there, right? 1 for 1 risk to reward ratio there on day trade options, day trade equity. So that's what I'm going to do as well. So once I get into a trade, upside, downside, I make sure my risk is capped at what I plan. If I'm risking 20%, I better be getting at least 20% return out of that. Let me go through the chats and see what everyone's doing here. Yeah, chop, 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 chop. Back's hurting, so I can't draw charts. That's hilarious. I never knew that if your back hurts, though, you can't draw a chart. Can't draw charts. I'm going to have to use that excuse next time, too. I can't go to work because my back hurts. I can't draw charts for the day. But if your back hurts, I'm sorry. I'm here to draw the charts for you, luckily for the day. So SPY's there. Let's look at Tesla. Let's go to Tesla real quick before market opens. I think Tesla's going to be a big move. Either we're going to get a big reversal or we're going to continue to drop. So we look at that box, right? We're going to look at this green box that's here. Ideally, we want to lose that area to play more downside. Upside, I would say let's get across this area here. Although it's going to be better, pretty bullish, the chart once we get above VWAP and the SMA 20, but that resistance pretty close anyways. So I would say let's clear that area or lose this area, to play it either downside or upside. So my plan for the day for Tesla would be up here, down here. That's at least down there. So loss of 420, say loss of 420, play it down to 417 and under. And then above 425.50, I'm going to write that on this actually. Above 425.50 calls, right? Calls. It's already losing the structural part at the bottom here. And then below 420 puts. Oops, can't spell today. It's okay. And I will look to play, like, you know, Tesla calls and puts are expensive. So you may have to go $5 out the money, you know, to get a good price on those contracts. So maybe above this, you get 430 calls. Below this, you get 415 puts. 415 puts, and they would be for the end of the week, right? They're weekly, so it will be for 1024 again. 1024 expiration. Then the same thing up here. Hello there. How's it going? Got a hot mic. That's okay. Let me see. And then we got, say 430. 430 calls. 1024. So there we go. So that's what we're going to look for. We got about a minute until market, 30 seconds. So if you want to focus on Tesla, focus on this. If you want to focus on SPY, focus on SPY. But I wouldn't be, you know, it's not financial advice, but I wouldn't be flicking back and forth trying to play both. I would try to focus on one, because your execution is going to be a lot better when you focus on less, just one instead of two and juggling two at once. So I'm just going to focus on Tesla here. I'm going to queue up my options once we start market open, and let's see what we get out of it. Everyone ready? Everyone got their plan? Can you pop screenshots of SPY? Yeah, I can. Let me do that real quick. Market's open now. And my screen's frozen. Okay. All right. Screenshot this. I put this in the chat, make it easier for everyone. And then Tesla. Tesla's already dropping off. And if we decide to lose that 417, then we just aim lower, right? I think we're going to get a lot of volatility here at market open. So there's going to be a lot of push and shove going on here between the bulls and the bears. Now zooming out in the 30-minute time frame for Tesla. I'd aim down here even. So I'm going to put a few of these lines for extensions for our targets. So we zoom in a little bit again. If we lose 417.28, then we can aim for 415. And if we lose 415, there's some space all the way down to 408 before we get to at least another strong level of support. So ideally, would like a pullback up here. And then if it come back up there, then take it on the rejection down and just continue down, right? If we don't get that, then maybe a loss of 417, then you can get in and play it to 415. And then once we get into this area, there's a lot of room to move down pretty rapidly here. So once you're in here and you're in good profit, just have protection and price just in case it gets a little crazy on the volume side, up and down. Now, I'm not in a trade right now. I'm just going to watch for the first 5-10 minutes, see what happens here. I'm not going to rush into it. KALU. I'm just going to look at that on my top screen so I don't bother everyone changing my screen back and forth all the time. It's up to 88. Do they have any good news on this? They look like it's aluminum. Aluminium, Q3 profit beat, raises annual outlook. So they project strong cash flow. This is aluminum company. That's why we got this that's why we got this big move. At this point, I would be aiming for 96. I mean, why not just aim for the previous high, right? So that was back in July. So with really good earnings like that, there's not really nothing holding it back to reaching that 96 now. So I'll be aiming for that. And then if you're not in the position, then looking for pullbacks to support. And then once that holds, you can grab a position. So I'm going to watch Tesla for an entry. We got 3 minutes into market open. Anyone take a trade? Everyone already in a trade making money? Or they're just waiting it out like me? What's everyone doing? I'm drinking my coffee right now too. So I'm on a 2 minute time frame. So I'm just going to, I'm ideally, I would like a retest of here and then rejection to play it down. Now, if we don't get that and we decide to just, obviously it doesn't look like it's going to rip at this point. It just sold right off. But if, say, it decides to come up like that, then I wouldn't be taking no put play there. I'd just be waiting for maybe some calls once we get up here. Or I've looked for some pullback down again to play the puts. But it looks like downside is the move. A lot of selling coming in now. Waiting, buying power's cooked already. Get out of here. Come on, Charlie. I did not already enter Tesla. I'm regretting it that I didn't. Voxstar. So I'm regretting. FOMO's getting the best of me now. Should I enter? Nope. I shouldn't enter, right? Let's not let FOMO take over. What I'm interested in is shorting some of these quantum stocks, but let's not go there yet. Let's not go to that situation. This one pushed all the way back up. Oh, 103%. No, thank you. So I'm just going to be patient. You know, there's going to be a play here for Tesla just because of that. So like I was saying, we lose a 417 play. You can play some puts down to 415. We got as low as 413. Now, if we lose 415, a candle, not just the wick, but the candle closing. But look at the sell side volume here. It's speaking volumes right now, right? No pun intended. But we're losing. If we lose this 415 here, then we have some room for it to get real nasty down towards the 405 area. And I got these levels by just zooming on out and collecting the data from maybe last week or maybe a month ago. You can get that data. It's still going to be very valuable to you as a trader to get that data. And from the get-go, SMA 20, we're below the SMA 20, VWAP below VWAP. Everything here, is it showing a bullish sentiment or bearish sentiment? What do you guys think? Are you going to buy calls here? That's my question for you. Bearish, okay, cool. That's good stuff. Love that. I just got Puka's message about not sharing my screen. So finally got that sorted. So now we got a little buying action here, which now I'll be looking to take a trade, a little buy action and rejection. I'll be looking to take a trade there. So I'm going to watch these next couple candles. See what kind of pickup we get. Let me queue up my options for Tesla. Also, SPY's going. SPY's still going up here. So we said for SPY, what did we say? What was the numbers for SPY? It was 669.15. So once we get above 669.15, I'll be looking to take this to 670, 671, 672 area of today. Once we clear that 2-3 minute candle, close above that number. We're not quite there, but we're on our way. So I'd be looking for a 415 breakdown this time around to take a put trade. If we don't get it, I'm just going to stay watching the trade, watching the chart until it shows me a setup. Right now, we're getting some buying action come back in. 417 retest. Let's see if there's a rejection there. And I'm going to queue up the options. And I'm going to take one option live if it sets up good for us, because they're damn expensive today. They're not cheap. About $600 for 415 puts. And the calls are a little cheaper. So I'm going to queue up. Right now, we're getting a little push back up, right? So I'm not going to take no put action right now because we're actually trying to travel back up. Look for a VWAP rejection at 418. Could be a possible entry. So I'm going to look there too. And I've got it queued up. 415 puts for tomorrow. One. And I'm going to look to see if we get a rejection at VWAP. If we don't get rejection at VWAP, I just won't be looking to take the trade yet. Let me see if they got any downgrades today. Did they get any downgrades? Oh, let me have a look. Look at the news. Rivian to lay off more than 600 workers. That's not good. Let's have a look to see if there's any downgrades that came in for Tesla. I see a price cut to 482 from 490 an hour ago. I see a Tesla price target upgrade to 505 from 395 from Roth Capital. 406 upgrade from Truist Bank from 280. I got another one from Cantor Fitzgerald. That one's to 510 from 355. So there's more positive upgrades than there is downgrades coming into today's price action as well. So that's very interesting. So I take calls once we get above the SMA 20. So that's above 421.50 now is where I'm going to take some calls. If we can close above the SMA 20, that's the strategy that I teach in the coaching based on just the SMA 20, some volume, and just one or two other indicators that gives us confirmation to enter a trade. So once we get above that 421.50, I will be looking to take 425 calls for tomorrow. Right now, we're just bumping our head against that. So let me just get rid of those lines as well. This one. Let's just get rid of those. Use our own lines. So I'd be looking for a candle close above this green part of the ribbon. That's when we can start shifting towards that bullish sediment. RSI is right on the 50 mark, which is the mid-range. So it's trying to flip from bearish to bullish right now. I like this. Look at the volume coming in. So if we can continue this kind of volume, this is going to peak right back up. So looking for that clearance, 421.50, 2-minute candle close above. Then I'll be looking to take this to 425 as a target. Those calls should be pretty delicious once we get there. Let me flip to my call side, 425. I'm going to queue one of those up. Let's see. So there's more upgrades here than downgrades. So I think we may get a bump here. Just need a crossover there. Now we've got this new candle, which is about 1:45 before it closes. If it can get above this ribbon, everything starts shifting. We've got rejection so far. Look at that. I'm just going to queue both of them up. Oh, this Mr. Uchi, this was a trade idea. This was your trade idea. I don't even know when I put that trade idea out. When did I put that trade idea out? My account's up $275 today. I did nothing. Did nothing today. A while ago in September. Ah, look at that. Give myself credit for it. I don't remember, but that's great that it worked out. All right, rejection at the SMA 20, which is not good, at least for the bulls, right? Because we want to clear this ribbon to shift to the bullish side. Right now, we're just getting the rejection at that level. We got rejection here on this green candle, rejection hard on this candle. So there's no go to the upside yet until we clear that. So now it's pulling back. So I'm just going to watch for the perfect entry. Well, you're not going to get perfect, but near damn perfect. We either lose VWAP again and we start trending all the way back down, or we're going to just go sideways for a little bit, and then we're going to find out which way plays out. Let me see what. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, look at you. Yeah, so it makes sense right here, doesn't it? Yep, it has some reason to fall hard. So we got this rejection here, and the next candle is now going to try to get through it this time. This is the next time around. This is their second chance. 3 chances, they're out. That's so funny. I heard someone on my headset, and it's my wife's dad calling. I suppose it's connected to a phone. I'm like, hey, who's got hot mic? It's really him. Get him off. So we got this candle still not making any progress. So I haven't got nothing set up yet. I'm just waiting right here for Tesla to give us the opportunity. Sometimes it's a patient game, guys. Look at SPX. Perts look nice. Let me look at. Let's look. So SPY calls are on the table now. We're above that 669.15. We're now up to close to 670. So SPY is just non-stop green volume from market open so far. So there's no put action until we start to see that roll off. Here comes Tesla with the drop. Oh, let me change the puts. 415 puts for tomorrow expiration. Let's see here. That's look like it's trying to roll off here. All right. Sorry, I'm getting all this interference on my headset here. Okay, it looks like we're falling off here. We're starting to roll right under VWAP. We got about 20 seconds for this candle to close. Let's see if it gets sucked back up or if we start rolling off here. I'm looking for 415 puts. That's what I'm looking at right now. I'm looking to take that. Let's see what we get. I queued it up. I'm ready to take it. But there's a lot of volatility here. We go up to the 5-minute. Yeah, the 5-minute doesn't look good. 2-minute, 3-minute looks better to the upside. So let's see if we lose the 417, then we'll go on the puts, guys, the 415 puts. I just buy one if we lose 417. Oh, nice stuff. 97. My Lord, that thing's going, huh? What did we just said, though? I just said aim for, what did I say, 96? We just got a new high of 97.57 on that KALU, so good stuff there. The earnings were really good, so aim to take out that new high. Okay, we got Tesla moving back up. We're just sandwiched in this little area here, so it's just neutral at this point. There's nothing, no bearish, there's no bullish, it's just neutral. And also that one that I put out last night for everyone to look at in the watch list channel was the VIVK. Oh, it's starting to move up now. So let's see if the calls start to come into action. That one did very well. If anyone followed that VIVK overnight, it did very well from, what did it go from 27 up to 33, 28 up to 33 cents. So that was a little quick trade, but I still feel like there's more in that trade to come. And I'm going to add that one to this. Did I not add that one to here, to my watch list? Let me stick that one over here. So we're at 28. We're up 16% today. I think this one can easily get more out of that. We just got to watch it clear 30 and hold. So now Tesla looks like calls are the thing, other way to go here. So let me queue up some calls. Okay, I'm going to get into some calls. 425. Buy. All right. Let me see what my buy was here. To buy one. Limit. So I got filled at 575. One call. That's 425 call for tomorrow. Now, this one could, yeah, this one looks like it's just going to keep fighting here. So I'm going to just queue up my stop loss right away, right? And I'm just going to queue that up based on what I'm seeing on the chart. So as long as we stay above the SMA 20 and VWAP, then I'm going to keep these calls. If we decide to lose VWAP and the SMA 20, that's where I'm going to look to take my loss if that's what happens. It's going to be a lot of volatility here, so it's not for the weak. So I'm just going to look to take this up to 425 now. And if I hit my stop down here, it's okay. You know, I'm not going to be mad. I'm not going to be pissed off. I'm just going to be okay with just following through with my plan. Just, we know the volatility here for Tesla, right? So we know it's whiplash. We get moves up, pull back, moves back up, pull back. So that's what we're going to be seeing all day long. So if you don't like that kind of action, then may want to focus on a different one. But I got those 425 calls. 575 was my entry on that one call. I'm trying to trade Tesla calls right this minute. Just a big fight here, but we're still looking bullish because we're above the SMAs, above VWAP, RSI is above 50. So things are giving me at least some reason to get into calls, right? There's some confirmation there. If you took SPY, it's up to 670.5 now. So those calls should be nice and green above our entry there. So if I get rid of like all these lines now, right? Just get rid of everything. My target for this call will be here, around here. I even go to the top of the body. And then my stop loss will be if we lose here. And once I get to here, I'm just going to take my profit. I'm okay with that. That's my plan. I already planned that out before I got into the trade, and that's what I'm just gonna carry on doing. So we're up to 630 a contract, 640, 650, 660 a contract, up at least 10-15% now. $650 plus a contract. So if you're looking at contract prices, we're up about 12% now. So no need to go red on this trade now. We're in the green. You can literally put your stop loss up to break even if you like now. 660 a contract. 660. There we go. Got some nice green. Hell yeah. Nice green on the table there, guys. We're going towards our target. No need to go red on this trade now. Our ultimate target is this 425, where we're about 80 cents away. About 70 cents away. Were those let me see what I'm at now. They're about $7 a contract now, guys. I'm happy with that. I'm going to take my profit here. I'm good with that profit. I'm out of the trade. Good to go. So we got ourselves a nice trade there. At least I did. It may continue going more, which is fine. I'm okay with that. I'm not going to fight that whatsoever. It was a nice trade that executed well. I sold at 695 and I got 20%. There we go, to target. We're about 710 a contract, 715 a contract. I sold for 20.8% return on that trade, guys. And this is what can make it very easy for you, is just to bring a strategy and continue to use the same strategy time after time, trade after trade, and just making sure that you follow it through. It doesn't matter if you take a loss. Some you will, but some you may get more out of, which will make up for those small losses that you take, and others, and you're going to overall be a nice green P&L at the end of the day. So we actually wicked up right to 425 by about 4 cents away. But I took my profit, so I'm out of that trade, guys. 470 by tomorrow. I mean, it's hard rejection there, actually. So, successful little trade. And you can see we got confirmation here on this nice green signal with the Maverick ribbon indicator. And then we also got some buying that came right in, and the RSI crossing 50. I mean, this is an easy strategy that works for me every day. Same like Tesla, and look at SPY now, where we got to, exactly where we wanted to go on the money. We got all the way to this level that we plotted out before. We got it before we even market open, right? And we're looking for a break above here. And that was our target point here, continuation up here. But now we're starting to roll a little bit off the top here. So I'm going to keep my eyes on SPY here as well. Anyone make a Tesla trade with me? Let me know. Yeah, but Tesla puts, those Tesla calls are back down to 615 now. So they're all the way back down to near on where we started. Now I'm going to look to take a SPY trade if I can. No, I'm going to look for a loss of VWAP, a loss of the SMA ribbon, loss of the RSI 50. These things shift the whole momentum to the bearish side. So that's what I'm going to look at to enter once we cross down under that. That's where I'll be looking to take puts. Above these levels, like right here, we got above the SMA 20 and we're above it now. I'm not going to take no puts until we start to see it drop down below it. That's when the whole momentum shifts. Right now, it's still bullish. It may pull back, but this could just be a higher low forming, which then rips it to a new high. So I just want to just get some confirmation before I jump into this trade now. Let me see. I took TSLL for 15%. Nice stuff. Oh yeah. But Tesla calls are still above our buy-in by about 60 cents a contract. So it's still in some good profit there. And let me pop. I don't know if anyone popped the link for the coaching if you want to learn. And this strategy that I use can be used for day trading. It can be used for swing trading. I primarily use it for swing trading and getting into trades with some confirmation, and they've yielded some really good results for us. So you can use it for swing trade, day trading. Right now I'm using for day trading, but you can learn the strategy in the coaching program. We have live stream right after this at 11 a.m. And it's weekly. Our live streams are weekly on Thursday at 11 a.m. It's recorded for you if you can't be there. And we go through setups. We go through the strategy. We go through what's happened over the past week. And then we build on that. Let me look. Charlie was mentioning one that I liked. Let's see, AIRE. Yeah, it's starting to bounce back up here. Let me see what this one's going to do. For this one, Charlie, I like this. This one was also on the watch list channel. Above 65, we hit like $1.30 yesterday. So it's a 100% return on this trade. That you can get these trades in the watch list channel. From time to time, I put them out there, like swing trades or at least pre-planned trades. They could be swings, they could be day trades. But I put this one out there. This was AIRE. And looking at this chart, it pulled all the way back down, but it's still holding that 60-cent level, which is good. It bounced from there. Now I'll look for a break of 81 cents. If we can get this one above 81, we can start moving back up again. So I'll be looking at 81 and then be aiming for 10 to 20% return as a target. Stop loss, personal risk, 10%. So this one could play out pretty nicely over the next couple of days. So watch out for this one. Put this in your watch list. AIRE above 81 cents. Look for 10-20% return as a target. Stop loss for me, it's going to be max 10%, but everyone's different with their with their risk. Let's see what Tesla's doing. It looks like it wants to take another pop at that 425. Now, if we get through this 425, then I think we have some room to keep going up towards, say, 427. So if you're looking for continuation for calls, I just got this this level from yesterday and pre-market today. Rejection point. That would be my next target point once we get above this one. This one looking real good though. This one's just going off the fib levels, but this is the chart. If you want to see the charts in the chat. For Tesla calls, for continuation, break above 425 and hold above it. And then we go to 427. Again, we got to 425.34. That was actually above our target now. So this time around, we got to our target point that we're aiming for. And again, it's finding it very hard to get through this level. So that's what we want to see for more upside. Let me also update the watch list. The momentum trade that I put out for SCNX, that one's up to 108 high of day so far. The targets from 89 cents entry. So that one hit targets. RBNE. This one's trying to go. If you're an equity, you guys love equity day trading. I'm looking at VTYX. It's on the watch list, but it pulled back some. But if we can get above 750 now and hold, I'd be looking to take this up to $8 again. Once we get above 750, equity day trade, it will be momentum. So we want to see obviously the volume giving us confirmation. We want to see it above also our SMAs and our VWAP. And once we get that, then I think this one has a good opportunity to go up to $8. This also had a very good trial data released yesterday in the mid-stage trial. They had very good data, and that's why we're up 94% today. We were as high as $8.40, but now we're sitting about $7.58 at this moment. But they had very good data yesterday that came out for phase 2. It looks like it cuts some kind of information in heart disease. So this is an oral heart disease drug that cuts inflammation, and it's in their stage 2 trial right now, the phase 2 of that. So very good data that came out, and that's why we're seeing this reaction overnight into today. So I would be just looking for a nice clear hold of 750. There's not a candle that's closed above it yet. I'm looking at 3-minute candle. Once we see it closed, then I think we have a very good opportunity there. Let me shift back to SPY here. SPY is starting to get a bearish signal now on the ribbon. So under 669.28 is when I go into, I give some reason to get into a put. I'm going to queue those up. SPY. I'm going to queue up the option for tomorrow's expiration. And I'll be looking at 668. I'm going to bring up 1 on the quantity. And I'm going to look for this. So it hasn't come into play yet, but I want to look for the loss of the red line part of the ribbon, the loss of the red, and the loss of VWAP. So that's where we're looking for a loss of. Let's just go down to 669.25. Once we lose that is where I'm going to look to take 668 puts, one quantity, and I'll look to play this down lower from there. Right now, we got a nice bounce right off of VWAP and the SMA, so nothing to play yet for this one. Who trades options here? Who trades equity? Let me know in the chat, in the Discord, what you trade the most every day. Is it equity, stocks, just day trading or swing trading? Or do you trade options like, day trading SPY, day trading Tesla? Let me know what the favorites are for you so we can get kind of a gauge where everyone's at. Queued up these to take these. Oh, thank you, Pookie, for putting that out there, the poll. Trying to lose that area that we talked about, 669.25. If we lose that, it's game on for a little put action, at least short term. I'm not in those contracts personally yet. Both options, both. Now, are you more the next question is, are you more I know that everyone loves to trade options, right? And it's a thrill, like there's some big opportunity to make some quick money there. But out of success, which one do you do better at? Most consistent at? Are you most consistent making profits in options or equity? From the watch list, the SCNX entry was at 89, and now we're up to a new high of day. We're up to 112, 113. This one's starting to move. Okay, so now we're shifting to the downside now. So we got 30 seconds for this candle to close. If this candle closes, I'll be looking at the next candle to take those puts because we may get a little bump up on the next candle. Then once that starts rolling, then I take those puts. Personally, that's what I'm going to do. Maybe you're in already, but that's what I'm going to do. Yeah. If we go up, we could go up nicely. If we go down, we could go down nicely. That's simple as it gets, huh? Okay, so I'm looking for a little bump on this candle. If we don't get it, then this thing's going to probably start falling off. I'm looking for a little bump to VWAP and then start fizzling out. Then I'd take the put. So I always know, like, once we get under that level, I always see a bump on the next candle. That's why I want to see that candle retest and fall off. Then I grab one contract, and it will be, like I say, 668 puts for tomorrow. So ideally, just hold below VWAP and the ribbon. Then I take that one put. Could also be like a bull flag going on here. We have to see what happens. Go up to the 5 minute. Got hammer. Got a nice little bump, right? So that's why I don't react right on this candle to jump into puts. I always like to see the next candle. Where did my position go? So we're going to close this candle right rejection at VWAP. Let's see what this one does. The number one thing that I've learned over time is just to have a lot of patience to jump into a trade, not just think that this is going to happen. Just get some confirmation before you jump into a trade and be patient. This could take 30 minutes to set up, which I got time to wait for that instead of guessing. So patience, I learned to be very patient with trading. And if I get into a trade now, get into that put, I'll be looking, okay, once price action gets above the SMA 20, that will be my stop loss. Right? So always going to have a max. Once we start to see bullish, start flipping bullish on all the technicals that I look at, then I can stop out. But if it continues to be bearish, I just continue playing this down to this target here. So then the target will be 668.40. And then I'll be looking at a little bit lower, maybe right here, 667.91. Right? And I just be, once we keep losing those areas, I'll look at the lower areas to aim for. And then my stop loss also will be following up behind it to protect my downside. So made one successful trade in Tesla. Now I'm going to look to take a little stab at SPY here. Okay, SCNX from the watch list up to 129. It halted at 129. If anyone's trading that one. So that one's up like 40% from entry. I'm going to take this one put here and on SPY. Oh, okay. All righty. Didn't get into that. But it's falling off. Wow, that's quite the red candle, huh? That sucked. Just as I was about to enter. Oh, well. That sucked a lot. Just rolled right off just as I was going to press buy. Oh, this one's falling off. Well, quite the red candle there. Yeah, right. Imagine if I pressed market fill and it filled me right at the bottom there. That would have sucked, right? Would have sucked a lot. Looks like we're getting continuation though. We're at the bottom of this little channel that we just drawn out. So I mean, lose 668.40, we go down to 667s. Then if we lose that, we have a lot of momentum to the downside at that point. I'd think we get back down to 668, 666. And then we'd be looking to go down lower to where it was at yesterday, because that's kind of been the whole theme, right? Like if you go zoom out, we're not even falling off anywhere, guys. It's not like max fear or the market's falling off. It's really not. We've been going sideways for a little bit of time. Of course, we got a little bit lower here that we can draw these lines in. Like right here, we can draw that line down there. But we haven't really fell off. We've just, we've been the last couple of days, we've just been kind of bouncing from the mid 660s and then bouncing right back to the 670s. That's what we've been doing. That's kind of what the theme's been. So we haven't really sold off that much. But here we go. This is now momentum shifting to the downside. That's nice. What's Tesla doing? Tesla's still sitting on that area that we were looking at. So SPY is the better trade now to the downside. Really looking bearish on SPY now. SCNX just opened up 139 on the unhold if we want to check that one out. This was from the watch list. And you can see this one ripped up really nicely. So this one's a very good result from the watch list there. Get rid of some of these squiggly lines now. Go down 2 minute. So now price action starting to fall, right? You see the volume at the bottom. It's showing us a lot more red, a lot more selling volume. RSI is now below 50. On the technicals, MACD's bearish. We also got RSI is neutral, more bearish to me. Volumes picking up a little bit to the bull side at this moment, but you can see it shifted from being way up here, and now we're already a couple points down, so it is still bearish for me. Oh, SCNX up to a higher day, 145. Let me go through the chat here. I got 10 minutes until I have to close up shop, guys. Anyone want me to look at any charts before I leave out of here? I don't want to leave. And you guys have questions or you want me to look at charts. That's what we're here to do, help you guys as well on your own charting. So if you have anything you want me to check out, let me know in the chat. And I take a little peek. Stocks for sure, both. Equity for sure, less stress. I get that too. Equity for me is a lot less stressful because that's what I'm used to doing, and that's what I know I'm consistent at bringing in revenue, personal revenue, right? There's an extra income for me. So if I do very well on swing trading and it's equity and it's not options, then I just stick to what I know works best instead of saying, oh, let me try options for a day and just lose my momentum that I've been working on so hard for the month. I just lose it on one or two silly option trades. So for me, like day trading these at the beginning of the days, and I work, that's why I say one contract or two contracts. I'm not putting too much into it. It's a little bit of fun time for me. But my focus as a coach is building strategies for swing trading, meaning hold the stock, the equity, the shares in a company, but we've done research for them. We've done not just the strategy research, but we're also looking at the fundamentals, meaning financials, making sure the company is good financially and they're growing financially for us to get a much better outcome than just going off of the technical chart. We like to see, okay, well, The technicals look great, but the fundamentals, they're burning cash like crazy and they're going to need to raise cash or stuff like this, or they're doing an offering. It's going to kill the whole momentum. So I try to look for companies that are just growing quarter over quarter, year over year, and at good levels to buy in. That's why I do rest and retire, right? Because I do the research and I look at the long-term projection there based on what I find. And that's why they work so well, those rest and retire picks. They're up hundreds of percent. So, like Meta's up 700%. You got Palantir up 2,000% because we did the research and we just backed it up. And taking the time to do that, it's going to give you much better results. I know it's tedious and it takes some time to do, but what would you rather do? Not do new research and then get into a trade and then eventually it goes south because there's an offering or there's something going on, their dilution or something. Or would you rather do the research and then get in and then play it long term and make potentially hundreds of percent, or maybe 50% or maybe 200% because you took a little bit more extra time to do the research. It's going to yield much better results. So I kind of focus on that mostly as a trader. And then this is all fun for me to do, to trade SPY and to trade, options. It's fun to do in the morning, and then I move on after that. I look at the more important stuff once the morning's over. So SPY, let's see, it's bouncing back up here. We got a retest of VWAP, not above the SMA 20, so it's still bearish right now. So it's still not out of the downtrend yet. So let me go through this. VYTX. SPY trying to shift bullish again. Crawling up, hiding from a halt. Oh yeah, that's what it's doing. Oh, what did we say? 81 cents is up to 82 now. Yeah, it's slowly trickling back up again. This one could be, if you look at that chart that I put in the chat channel, those are some levels you can aim for next. So above 81, aim for 91, 102, 116, 138, kind of where it went yesterday. VYTX, I'll take a look, JWAG, right now. Let's have a look at that. TX, what happened? It doesn't want to show. Oh, it's VTX. That's why it's VTYX. Sorry. So yeah, you're right. There's a pullback here. So I'll be looking at the next support level retest for potentially reversal, meaning not to jump into it once it first retests. You want to see the reaction, right? That's what we're here to do. We want to see the reaction from the retest instead of just buying right away from the retest. So let's just wait for the reaction. And if it's positive and we start to see, this reaction and we start to see it kind of push off, that's a positive reaction off that level. And then I potentially will play up here a little bit on the reversal, not just jumping in here and thinking it's going to hold. That's where we're going to start losing our money that we have in our account. So I'll be looking at this area to hold. So if we pull back down, look for 681. So if we pull down to 681, we get some reaction there and we push back above 7, then I'd be looking to take that trade back up towards 730, 753, 777, $8. And I'll just be aiming higher and higher if we start moving higher and higher, right? And then my stop loss will be right behind it at that. If we break above this resistance, my stop loss will be just under that resistance to protect that position. So for me, it looks like it wants a retest at 680, 681. So I'll be looking to see if there's any buyers that step in. And then if there is, looking to trade it once we get that push off that level. And then we just aim, like I say, up here, right? at these previous levels that we got from this price action here and here and here. And then if we decide to fall lower, then we can look at this level here for reaction. So this would be the strongest next level, be about 625 would be the next level. And then the same thing, if it reacts off there positively, then you can buy your position once we reverse from that level, and then put your stop loss at that previous low, just in case it bounces and then starts to fall again. You can protect your position just under that entry, or just under that previous low that it made before it bounced. So that's an option you can do. Now, if it decides to bounce from here, then I'd look for above this area for momentum to the upside. So either retest of 680, bounce off 680 positively, then buy it off the bounce, or looking for a break back above 730, playing it back to these levels up here again. Does that help at all with that one? So those are the moves that I look for, and this will patiently work out either what we planned out, or if it just falls off, then we just don't take it until we see a nice level hold, right? Maybe the next level's down there, right here. So we want to just wait for that positive reaction off of one of these levels or above this level here to take it higher from there. So momentum upside entry, or retest on support for an entry. So that's that one. I got a couple minutes left. Let me have a look at cruise here. Put IXHL. Any particular reason why you want to look at this one? I see this one's like been hyped around social media because I follow some people that have big followers that like to build hype behind stocks, and they just pump and then they sell into your buys, right? You're basically exit liquidity for them. And that's why we hate these kind of people out there, retail traders that just start pumping stocks for their own agenda and then leave everyone else holding bags. That's not what we want to do. That's not very nice. So for this one, I'd be just looking at any signs of a reaction off in this box here. If we get a nice reaction here and see some buying, then potentially we can start moving back. So I look for this resistance break to the upside before I say it's going to start reversing. So I say above 35.5 cents, and then start aiming for 37, 38, maybe 40 cents. If you want to play it off the bottom band, then I'd be looking at 33, say 30, yeah, kind of where it's at now, 33.5 cents to hold, and then see some buying off of there. Then that's a more risky position to take because you don't have a lot of confirmation. You just have that reversal from the support. You don't have it above the RSI 50 or above the strategy that I teach. But you can easily just put stop loss in under these levels for protection so that you don't have to risk too much if it decides to pop up a little bit, then falls back down. So I always think about protection when I get into a trade. Like number one thing is protection. 2 and 3, profits can come. Like if it's moving up, you can always, plan out profit taking along the way up. If it's moving up, the downside is where people struggle to execute their stop loss or their, follow through with it. So that would be my plan for this one. This is IXHL ideally above 35.5, more momentum upside to play it higher to 40. But if you want to see the reaction off of this support and it's positively pushing back above 34, then that could be an opportunity to play it from the bottom and then having your max stop loss maybe if we lose that support, if it falls back down right here, right? So hope that helps. Yes, it was granted a 180-day extension by NASDAQ to regain compliance. That's good news that they have an extension. But they've still got that lingering over them, right? They still got the extension of half a year, but they still don't have the compliance. So if they get compliant and they regain that compliance, I think we see a bigger move when that happens. But if they struggle and they can't get above $1, they don't have significant news to come out to boost their stock price, then it's going to have problems still. And then maybe a reverse split will come, which then they regain compliance because they're above that threshold and regaining that compliance again. So a lot of those companies do reverse splits if they can't get their price higher. So be careful there. I take like 2 more, then I have to jump on out. So I get ready for the coaching stream at 11. Webull. Just know that this is a Chinese related stock. Anything that goes on with this relationship between China and the US going to take an effect on China-related stocks. If it's bad news, these stocks are going to sell off. If it's good news, they're going to start pumping. So it's going to. I know that it sucks, but it's going to be based on economic relationships between China and the US. If tariff deals can be, deals can be made, then I think this is a great prime position to buy Webull to take this back up. Now, if it drags on and November 1st comes around and Trump decides to put in 155% tariffs again, then I think that you can potentially get this lower than where it's at. You may be able to get this in the low 10s, maybe 9s even, just based on that negative news. Doesn't mean the company's bad. Just means you get maybe a better opportunity to get it lower. But their fundamentals, just looking at a few things, they're doing better. Looking at fundamental wise, just real quick before I jump off, balance sheet is strong. They have assets pretty strong. Liabilities less than their assets, only by a bit. Do they have any debt? They don't have any. They have a little bit of debt, not much. Income is growing, so I like to see that for Webull. It's growing slowly, but it's still positive. It's not negative. It's stable. Their growth, not the best. But if you look at quarter over quarter, that's where you start to see it increase. We start to see 28% quarter over quarter, 30% quarter over quarter. This previous quarter, 45% increase quarter from previous one. So you start to see nice increases on the quarter. And the net income is still negative. So it's getting better. Not quite in the positive yet, but once Webull starts to go profitable and they start to increase that revenue, like just really, you start to see big revenue increases in their earnings, then you will start to see this one fly back up again. So there's a few things that come into mind with this one. The tariff deal. If something comes good out of that, I think we see Webull shift back up to the upside towards, probably that $15, $16 range where it was at before. And if we don't get a deal, then you would likely get this lower, which isn't a bad thing. You just don't have much data to go off of on this chart, right? We only got this 1030 and then this wick low of, like 10, what's that, 950 is that wick low. So, we don't have no other data to go off of on the chart, just these lows here and this low here. If it goes lower than that, it's just pretty much, no man's land, and it can get rough. So I'd just be looking at that news to make that decision. I bought some shares in Webull yesterday with my coaching group. Personally, I bought them at $10.68. And it was a small position, 300 shares. All right. Let me see. So that's Webull. SLV. Then I'm going to jump on out of here because I do have to get ready for the stream. You going to play this upside? Okay. So the 2-hour chart, if you want to do shorter term swings, we can do the strategy on the 1 hour, 2-hour chart. We can do short term swings. If you want bigger swings, then you go to the daily, the weekly, the monthly, right? Because the daily is showing that it's still negative. We're close to going positive on the daily, not quite there yet. So above 45 is when this will start showing a bullish, a buy signal, like a ribbon buy signal based on the SMA 20. But if you go to the 4-hour, it's not quite there yet, and the 2-hour is there. So I just prefer to see this over 45, and then I look to play this up towards those highs again, because we all know that commodities, gold, silver, they've just been on a rampage to new highs. So break over that trend line and then trade it up to at least these highs and potentially making new highs. Now, if we lose this support here, right here, then it could get nasty. We got a lot of room to move down, lots of room to move down. So have your protection in place. Upside is once we break this trend line and we can start moving back towards these highs here, about $50. Your puts, okay, with it. If you're puts, then maybe if you're in puts, then if we break this trend line and we get back above it, then maybe that's your cue to leave at this point, right? And we can look at it that way. If it shifts bullish, then you'd just be looking to exit your puts. If it loses this support, then you'll be in the money and be looking at some nice profits to the next levels, and then just adjusting your stop behind it. So if you zoom out to like the weekly, this is incredible. Like this move is incredible for silver. 2011. So it peaked. Like, let's just think about that. Silver peaked up here. This is the ETF, silver ETF. Peaked up here in 2011. It came all the way back down to 13, right? So it was at 48. It came all the way down to 13. And it literally took 14 years for it to get right back to where it was, high. So once we top out, I don't know when it will be, maybe soon, but once we top out, we have the potential of playing maybe a year out puts on this one and just trading it all the way back down, potentially playing it down to $30. That wouldn't be even a bad move for bulls to re-enter if it can hold this level here. So once we start rolling over, and maybe it's now, maybe it's tomorrow, maybe it's next week, then you can literally get puts, option puts for next year, maybe end of next year, or maybe a year, it's 12 months from now, and ride this wave down on silver to potentially even $30. If that holds, that's much better than where it went to last time around. And it's in your favor, then you can just kind of adjust your stops. Once it falls down, you can just follow up behind with a stop to protect your profits, and everything's good for you. All right. It's 10:40, guys. I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna get out of here. I hope some of you guys made money on the Tesla trade, and even on SPY calls. We didn't do it live because I was on the Tesla chart, but hope some of you guys kind of made some money there. If you want to learn the strategy, kind of lost, you don't know what to do with what strategy to follow, come on over to the coaching side. Get a simple strategy that you can understand, and you don't have to have 20 different things on your chart, just a couple. And then start to build consistency and confidence, and then start to build, you see, month over month, your P&L just growing nicely instead of whiplashing all over the place. So you come on down to the coaching stream. Starts in 18 minutes. But I will see you around, and everyone on socials. I will be around, obviously, with the watch list and posting updates and everything with my MadMaverick X account. So yeah, I'll see you guys in about 18 minutes, the coaching stream. Bye for now.